Hey, and it's only fitting that we have
the BYU converted fan.
a New York guy with us in Studio B right now, Blaine Fowler, back on the show. Blaine, have you got your Westchester Knicks jersey on order yet?
You know what? I'm going to be in New York tomorrow. I'm heading to the Big Apple tomorrow, and I'll be there until Saturday when I fly back in time for the Weber State game. But I was just going back to check out how things are generally and what people are saying about Jimmer, and that's
why you're going.
I'm going
really?
on assignment. I'm going on assignment to check out and see how home is. So, no, Brenda actually just left. She's on a flight right now. I'm meeting her there tomorrow. I stayed so that I could come in with you guys and do AFR today.
Priorities.
I'm heading out tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think is Jimmer Fredette's basketball future?
I felt like the last couple years he lost his mojo a little bit, and you can do that. I mean, basketball is a mental game. You know, there's lots of folks have the physical skills, and there's some people that are mentally tough that don't have the physical skills. But to have both at a really, really high level makes you a great player, and he's always had that. But when you sit on the bench and you think that you don't hear the things that are going on behind the scenes and people telling you that you can't play, but you do. You know, those guys hear that. I've just seen a little bit of a lack of confidence, which is just crazy for Jimmer because his ability to shoot the basketball is second to none. And so this isn't a bad thing. You know, I know he had that little stint with the Pelicans, but for him to be there and to maybe get back, and these are very athletic, very good players that are on the cusp. Let's face it, the D League is guys that are trying to get back into the league. This isn't a career league that you go play for 10 years in. You either show that you can do it or you don't. And for him to come out against athletic players and to score 37 shows that he can still do it. And I hope that he has a run like this where he gets that confidence back and somebody in the league says, okay, there has to be a role for this kid. And he's got to get a mindset to defend better. And maybe he comes in and says, okay, you saw that I could score, but I also am going to come in and I'm going to defend enough, and a team will find a role for him. I think confidence is huge, and maybe this is his opportunity to get that back.
What did you learn as we move now from Jimmer Fredette back to where he played his college ball, and that's BYU, on Saturday night from BYU basketball against Belmont, given that 3 days earlier they had their struggles against Mississippi Valley State? What did you take away from Saturday night?
Well, the team is kind of figuring out their chemistry as we go along. And it's a hard thing when you got a guy in Tyler Hawes that the offense is just built around and everybody knows what their role is in association with that. Regardless of how talented they were this year, we knew that there was going to be some time where everybody's figuring out, okay, this is where my shot comes in the offense, and this is where I'm at my best, and this is where I can have a major impact. I mean, it also helps that Chase Fisher started to knock down shots. He was missing his mojo a little bit, and he may have gotten some of that back the other night. But I really feel like this team is a talented team. I think top to bottom, it's more talented than it was and more balanced than it was last year because I think there's people up front that can match up with some of the big teams they're going to play, especially the Zags with their Giants. But so in the end, I think this is going to be better. In the short term, I feel like they made a major step forward in understanding roles and playing with better chemistry. You know, and it always starts BYU when they're struggling, when they pick it up in terms of intensity on the defensive end, it gets them some offense. They get running, they get confidence, they get in the flow of the game, and then their offense is better. And so that has been a catalyst for this team for the last couple years. I don't think it's any different this year. When I saw that game start to change was when they started to play really good defense, and that led to offense, and then everybody was on attack. When you're on attack on defense, you get on attack on offense, and you see Kyle attacking the basket. You saw Nick attacking the basket. The guys were making plays defensively and getting blocks. Defense is contagious, and it leads to offense, and BYU needs to remember that. When they remember that, they're a really, really good basketball team, and they have all the talent in the world. I think that the sky's the limit for this team. Long Beach State, unfortunate that they played a team with that kind of athleticism when we're still trying to figure things out, but I expect them to do nothing but move forward.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that BYU had a bump up in competition and maybe showed their true colors with more of a game that way. A couple opponents you're supposed to crush. It's a different situation. Then you play Belmont, and they played really well. Now they play Utah tomorrow, and we'll break that down. But Kyle Collinsworth gets the seventh career triple-double. Fantastic stuff. What did you think of that accomplishment?
So disappointing. I wanted to call it. I wanted to be able to.
That's the thing.
I wanted to be able to celebrate it on the air. We were leading up to it. We made a big deal of it. I was on the countdown from about, 14 minutes ago. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, Dave, this is reachable. He's going to do it today. This is going to happen. So I'm very disappointed. I'm really excited for Kyle because it's an unbelievable accomplishment. I'm thinking about the names that he's passed by, Shaq and Jason Kidd and these guys. It's a testament to how complete a player he is, and it's so unusual to have the skill set that he has. So I'm so excited for him, but I'm so disappointed I didn't get to call it.
I hope that against Utah State, there's a moment where the fans and Kyle can celebrate that before the game, give them a ball.
Yeah, I know we got to do. Yeah, it would have been great, and I thought what I loved was we're getting down to the end, and what we didn't realize is that he already had it because they had to correct the stats afterwards. He had another rebound, but you remember Kyle comes, he's in the game, and I can't remember who was on the low block, whether it was Kyle or Corbin, whoever it was that was on the low block.
And
was like, oh no.
him.
You go take the low block
to get a rebound.
You need a rebound, and this kid just missed the first one. He's going to miss the second one.
That Kyle rebounded, but it was two-shot free throw.
So what the heck happened? Why'd that kid make that second free throw? We could all really celebrate. Did he not understand the moment?
And then Chase, doesn't know, like, hey, miss a free throw. We can't get to that.
No. You don't think about it that deeply. I was actually glad that they were in a position where they were ahead enough in the game to actually think about it a little bit. Now the game was in hand, and coach could even think about it a little bit, and it was okay at that point because they played well. Yep. And you know what was fun was Kyle got that thing, but it was on a night when I really felt like this basketball team played well. Belmont is a really good basketball team. They shoot it as well as anybody in the country, and they run their stuff offensively as well as anybody in the country, so they're not easy to defend. So I was probably most proud of the defense they played against a team. They're not going to play a team this year that runs their stuff better than Belmont does.
Well, and they bring back the OVC Player of the Year.
They're very well coached. And can that kid shoot it? Can that kid shoot it? But they're very well coached. Bird is a fantastic coach. You know you're going to get a good game plan. And BYU just outplayed him and played great D. And for that was the takeaway from that night. And then also that I didn't get to call Kyle's triple-double, and now it's over.
We're going to talk to Kyle Collinsworth in about 5 minutes on BYU Sports Nation. He joins us in Studio B later. Let's transition back now to BYU football, and the big question is, where is BYU going to play the bowl game? Blaine, where do you want BYU to play the bowl game, and who do you want them to play against?
So I want them in Vegas, and my insiders are telling me that is highly likely now. And so when BYU lost that Missouri game, we were hearing, and Dave McCann and I both have a lot of friends down in Vegas, and we were hearing that, they're probably out, and Hawaii's really pushing for BYU because the University of Hawaii is not bowl eligible this year, and they don't want to have to take BYU by contract in a year down the road when Hawaii is bowl eligible. Yeah. So we were hearing all of this right after the Missouri loss. But after the win, all of a sudden things changed. And with the other things that happened in college football this weekend, now it's looking like it's a strong possibility that they'll play in the Las Vegas Bowl. Who would I like to see him play? Well, we know it's Pac-12. I'm hearing Cal is a possibility. That's a little scary, actually.
Jared Goff is good.
That's why it's scary, because they throw it around like nobody's business. They spread the field. Goff is maybe the first quarterback picked in the draft this next year. So fantastic throw game. Not a great defense, but a solid defense. I think it'll be a great matchup for fans. It'll be a really, really fun game. And they're a marquee name with a big-time player, so people are going to tune in.
Is that who you want, though, Cal?
That's what I want. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be Cal, and if I was going to I'd take Cal. They scare me, but I think it would make for a fantastic matchup.
I want Wazoo. I want Mike Leach.
Well, and if you're from Utah and you don't root for Washington State right now, because Luke Falk is a Logan kid. Their starting quarterback who leads the nation in passing.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, we went up to watch Stanford play Washington State because my son-in-law is the safety for Stanford, and I had a week off, so we went up and watched him up there, and I got to see Mike Leach and reconnect with him, who was here when I was here. But I met Luke's family, his grandmother, and I'm like, man, I love this kid's family. So in turn, I got to love this kid. He's from Utah. He was a fifth-string walk-on that worked his way to the top. Now they're talking about him as an NFL prospect. Wow. They're talking about him as a future Heisman Trophy candidate. If you're from Utah, and this can be, you got to root for that kid. You got to root for Luke Falk. He's a local product that is playing fantastic, and he'd be fun. That'd be a fun team. Although I think Washington State's better than Cal. They're even a little more scary.
Blaine Fowler bringing the heat on BYU Sports Nation from upstate New York to Studio B in Provo, Utah. Hey, safe travels, man.
Thank you. I'll think about you guys when I'm on Fifth Avenue with all the Christmas stuff out.
And we'll see you tonight on After Further Review as well.
We'll be there.